Jacob's ladder, a journey between heaven and earth. In the land of Canaan, under the blazing sun, Jacob, the youngest son of Isaac and Rebekah, found himself on a long journey. His heart was heavy, fleeing from his brother Esau, whose wrath he had stirred by taking the blessing meant for him. Jacob was now alone, with nothing but the clothes on his back and a staff in hand. His destination was far away, Haran, the land of his ancestors. But tonight, he was in the wilderness, with no shelter, no family, and no future that seemed certain. As the sky deepened into twilight, Jacob found a place to rest for the night. He gathered a few stones from the ground and placed one beneath his head as a makeshift pillow. Exhausted from his travels, Jacob lay down on the hard ground, closed his eyes, and drifted into sleep. But his sleep was not ordinary. In the quiet darkness of the night, Jacob entered a dream unlike any other. In the dream, he saw a ladder. It wasn't like the ladders he had seen used to climb roofs or trees. This ladder stretched from earth all the way up to heaven, disappearing into the clouds. Its brilliance filled the sky, a bridge of light connecting the mortal world with the divine. Along this ladder, Jacob saw angels ascending and descending. They moved effortlessly, carrying out their tasks, going from the throne of God to the world below and back again. As Jacob marveled at this magnificent sight, the air around him shimmered, and suddenly, he felt a presence. He looked up, and there, standing at the top of the ladder, was God himself. The Lord's voice, deep and filled with love, spoke to Jacob. "I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie, I will give to you and to your descendants. Your offspring shall be like the dust of the earth, spreading to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south. And through you and your descendants, all the families of the earth shall be blessed." Jacob's heart beat faster as God's words echoed in his ears. Could it be that despite his past, his deceit, his flaws, God had chosen him for something greater? The warmth of divine grace flooded him as God continued. "I am with you and will keep you wherever you go. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised." In the dream, Jacob stood still, awestruck. The weight of his guilt, his fear of the future, and his worries about Esau seemed to melt away in the presence of the Almighty. As the dream began to fade, the ladder of light remained, a constant reminder that God was always present, even in the most unexpected places. When Jacob woke up, the desert sky was still dark, but the world around him felt different. The silence of the wilderness no longer seemed empty, for Jacob knew he had encountered something holy. His heart raced as he realized that the very ground he slept on had been touched by heaven itself. Trembling, Jacob whispered, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." He stood and took the stone he had used as a pillow and set it up as a pillar, pouring oil on top of it. He named the place Bethel, which means house of God, for here, heaven had touched the earth. It was not just an ordinary spot in the wilderness anymore. It was a place where God had spoken to him. With renewed strength, Jacob made a vow. "If God will be with me and keep me in this way that I go, and give me bread to eat and clothing to wear, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God, and this stone, which I have set up for a pillar, shall be God's house." From that day forward, Jacob carried the memory of the ladder to heaven with him. It reminded him that though his path might be uncertain, and though his past might be riddled with mistakes, God had a purpose for him. Jacob was not alone. He was part of a grander plan, a divine connection that stretched between earth and heaven. And so, Jacob continued his journey, no longer just a man running from his past, but a man walking toward his destiny, with God's promise lighting his way.